Okay, just a quick update on these rice fields. We've got a group of people here actually planting the rice. You can see they've got bunches of rice plants. That's the classic way of planting rice. There it is. Just planting individual plants. You can see that was just a bunch of rice plants. And that's how they work these fields. But you'll note in my previous video I showed you that little handheld tractor that was planting rice. Right there, that's where the tractor was planting the rice. And that field was dry in that video. That was back in my June update. So less than a month ago, that field there was dry. And there must be two ways to plant rice. They'll use that handheld tractor to plant rice early in the season, even in dry ground, before the rains come and before the rice fields fill up with water. And you can see all that rice there is growing from the tractor that planted those seeds when that ground was dry. So there's two ways to plant rice, straight from the seeds, and what's going to happen is they can then take up these plants out of the ground and then plant into fields that are already full with water. And I'm guessing it'll be very hard to plant seeds into fields full of mud or water like that field is there using that handheld tractor. So you would have to use that tractor to plant seeds in the dry ground. Once the fields are full up or filling up with water when the rains come, you can then take out these plants and plant the traditional way by hand into the water, into the mud, just like they're doing there. So I think that clarifies the issue of, I mentioned there was a new way to plant rice in the previous video. It's not so much a new way to plant rice, but I guess that's how they plant rice in the dry fields first. The rains will fill up the fields, the rice germinates, and once the fields are full, they can't plant all fields, I would imagine, you know, before the rains come. There's too many fields, not enough people to work, so I would imagine they plant what they can in the dry fields. Then you'll have enough plants to take up and plant into the fields full of water, just like what they're doing now. And I'm pretty sure what they've done, they've taken those plants they're planting just over there from this field, and you can see how they've thinned out the rice. See how thick the rice is in the background, but in the foreground they've actually taken up rice plants, thinned it out, and obviously the rice plants get bigger and bigger, so they've just thinned out the rice plants, and they're using those plants they've taken out from the foreground there to plant into that field there that's already full of water. So you can see how they've got bunches of rice, and you can see right there, boom, there, bang, 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 they're planting the rice right there. So that's the traditional way to plant rice, into fields full of water. And that field there was planted when that ground was dry, using that handheld planting machine you saw in the previous video. Okay, so before there was any water there, that rice was planted using that machine. It's now filled with water by the rains. It's really thick, there's like a thick carpet of rice. They've thinned it out and they're using those plants to plant over there. So I'm pretty sure that's the process of what goes on. These are the same rice fields that I've been filming all the time. Just behind our house here, there's our house, the fence, and there's the rice fields I've walked through in previous videos, all full of water. So after 1 year, I've virtually come full circle. The first video in this playlist was the rice fields full of rice and water, then the harvest, the dry season all dry, now they're planted, full of water again, and you can see now I've shown you planting both ways, using the machine, that handheld machine, and by hand up there. And just one more view of these people planting rice. Okay, hope that makes sense. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.